This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, I did a video yesterday, and in that video, I asked you guys, do you guys think that the SEC, the FBI, and the DOJ have an obligation to investigate fraud in the market? And a majority of the people who saw the video and left a comment felt that yes, the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI are obligated to investigate all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market, especially the fraud surrounding AMC, GME, MULN, NWBO, MMTLP, and a whole lot of other stocks that are obviously being naked shorted, because the evidence of the fraud and corruption in these plays is overwhelming. There's nobody who's looking at these plays and can't see the fraud and corruption in the numbers. And these are just the numbers that they are releasing to us. The real numbers are probably a whole lot worse. But what I did was I started to do my own investigation. You know, the DD they say we don't do. And I wanted to see what were they obligated to investigate the obvious fraud in the market. And I have come to the conclusion that yes, the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI are obligated to investigate obvious fraud, especially in the market when it affects millions of Americans. And that's what's happening in the U.S. stock market every single day, and they're doing absolutely nothing about it. The SEC is mandated by statute to investigate fraud in the market. Their statute obligates them to protect retail investors and protect the market. Yet the SEC sees the fraud, the naked shorting, the manipulation, the dog pool abuse, and they do absolutely nothing about it. And they can't claim they don't know about it, because the fraud and corruption is obvious to anybody who opens their eyes. And the FBI and the DOJ, by public policy, they are obligated to investigate obvious fraud in the United States stock market, especially fraud that affects millions of Americans. So when the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI practice willful blindness to the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market, they are going contrary to their purpose. What they're doing is totally opposite of what they were mandated to do. The SEC, by statute, and the DOJ and the FBI, they have a public interest where they are obligated to investigate obvious fraud. And what's going on in the United States stock market, especially with AMC, GME, MULN, NWBO, MMTLP, is obvious fraud. There's no other explanation for what's going on in these plays, and the DOJ, the FBI, and the SEC are not doing their job, even though they are obligated to by statute and by public interest. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think that the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI need to get together and investigate all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market and put an end to shorting? Put an end to shorting until they get the naked shorting under control. Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.